Hello and welcome back to An Old Man Watches, where today I'm going to be talking about the 2011 offering Three Musketeers from dedicated mockbuster trash factory The Asylum. Rather than 17th century guardsmen, these musketeers are a trio of modern day special forces operatives for the United States. Or at least they are until their handler, who is codenamed the Cardinal, sets them up as patsies in a scheme to start a war with North Korea. Meanwhile, an ambitious young Secret Services agent named Alexandra D'Artagnan stumbles across evidence of the Cardinal's conspiracy. Naturally, she also soon finds herself framed and on the run for crimes she did not commit. On the basis that the enemy of the enemy is my friend, Agent D'Artagnan seeks out the Musketeers, and the quartet join forces. Their task? To learn more of the Cardinal's plans. Why would a US agent want to set off a major war like this anyway? Put a stop to those plans and clear their own names. In other words, it's pretty much just another day in the cinematic version of Secret Service land. Let the shooting and punching commence in the name of freedom. So 2011 saw the release of Paul W.S. Anderson's steampunk re-envisaging of the Three Musketeers, so it's no surprise that The Asylum dropped a similarly named film direct-to-video at more or less the same time. Naturally, the scope and budget of the two movies were worlds apart, not least because Anderson's film cost roughly 25 times as much to make and starred people with, sort of actual name recognition. This film has largely been ignored by professional critics, of course, but it has racked up a 2.5 out of 10 average rating at IMDb, with one reviewer there calling it the worst film they'd ever seen. Charlie Jack Masterfunk, I can safely say that you've lived a fortunate movie-watching life. This isn't even in the top 5 worst Asylum films that I've seen, let alone in contention for the worst of all time. In fact, by the Asylum's admittedly very low standards, this is actually pretty good. Now, of course, pretty good for an Asylum movie still falls well short of any reasonable definition of a well-made movie. And yet, despite its many flaws, I had fun with this film, far more fun than I usually do with the Asylum's mockbuster slop. So let's talk about what I liked about it first, before we explore the many ways in which it's not actually a good film. So one of my persistent frustrations with The Asylum is that from time to time, they come up with a good elevator pitch for a movie, and I just know that they're not going to live up to the potential of the idea. For instance, while Googling The Asylum for this video, I learned that last year they released Snow White and the Seven Samurai. And I know that the film they've made doesn't actually in any way live up to the potential of that title, but I also know that I'm going to track it down on streaming and sit through the dang thing. Similarly, The Three Musketeers reimagined as a modern espionage thriller, that's a solid pitch for a movie. I want someone who is both competent and invested in making a good movie, and who actually has the funds to do so, to go out and produce that film. Write a script that embraces both the intrigue and action of the original story, but in a modern-day context, hire some talented but not necessarily big-name actors to appear in it, and invest just enough that the fights, chases, and effects look slick, and I bet you can make a really good little action espionage film. That's not this film, of course. The Asylum spent a reported $300,000 on the whole thing, which means that every corner has been cut in production terms. For instance, most of the action sequences consist primarily of the main cast characters firing guns at enemies who are not actually on screen. Why spend money on extras and stunt choreography, after all? The other way in which this movie is a cut above the Asylum average is those main cast members. They're much better than the dross that usually clutters these films, and which does, to be fair, clutter the supporting cast. Heather Hemmons, who plays Alexandra D'Artagnan, has worked pretty consistently in small screen productions over the past 20 years, including two leading roles in shows that lasted for several years each. The actors playing the Musketeers aren't quite as commercially successful as that, but they've all got plenty of TV work to their names. So they're people who, know what they're doing. And perhaps more importantly, they seem to be having a pretty good time making this film, which makes a real difference in keeping it feeling light and fun. They also make a pretty good fist of the action sequences, such as those are. Zin Sarathwuku, who plays Athos, does most of the heavy lifting here, presumably because he's also an experienced stunt person. But Hemmons and Michelle Boyd also get called on to deliver some fight work, specifically fencing, because you've got to wedge a sword fight into your Three Musketeers movie, right? Neither woman is going to win a stunt work award for their efforts here, but they managed to avoid looking completely out of their depth, and trust me, compared to some of the rubbish the Asylum has tried to foist off on us as fight choreography, I'll happily take what gets served up here. But let's be clear, this is a very flawed movie. And that's even without considering the original deceitful DVD cover. The image I've been showing before now is the current marketing image for the movie, but when it first came to DVD, the image on your screen now was the box art. 3 men who aren't in the movie, wearing period outfits that aren't in the movie, in front of a building that is, you guessed it, not in the movie. Now, many of the film's flaws stem from its budget, of course. The same set does triple duty as the cockpit of no fewer than 3 different aircraft, for instance. Then there's the gunfights, which, as I noted before, are mostly just shots of the main cast shooting at off-screen enemies. Every explosion is CGI, because it's much cheaper and safer than the real thing. And the quality of the cast outside of the main quartet is pretty bad. Even the guy playing the Cardinal is weak, and he has what may be the easiest acting job of anyone in the movie. Just be an evil jerk. And then there's the writing, which is the usual Asylum standard. It includes plenty of clunky exposition standing in for dialogue, a completely gratuitous bra and panty scene, and a bad guy plot predicated on, make my most gifted agents my enemies. What could possibly go wrong? So in short, this is not a good movie, but the main cast managed to make some parts of it into cheesy fun. Next time, well, we're in 2011, and we're talking about The Three Musketeers. So why not keep doing so by taking a look at the film that this movie was made to mockbust? But that is next time. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you've seen this version of The Three Musketeers, let me know what you thought of it.